She went back to work after 3 days. That sounds dodgy to me.
That is the beauty of modern surgery. We become less and less and less invasive. Today, a lot of procedures are just lunchtime procedures, such as this one in the breast augmentation, can go back to work in just a couple hours.
I don't even know what that could possibly be. That's it for tonight's show.
I think Ireland's really got the knack of cosmetic surgery.
So that's the view of the Irish public, with price coming up as a major consideration for some. We're now joined by Cosmetic Dr. Patrick Treacy from the Aylesbury Clinic, and as ever, Dr. Ray will be throwing in his tuppence worth. Are there a lot of people going overseas for treatments? Is he going to say, come to Los Angeles?
You know, I think there's some great surgeons right here in Ireland. The whole British Isles actually has some of the best surgeons in the world. As a matter of fact, a lot of plastic surgery was started right here in the British Isles. And so there's no need for them to go elsewhere. You know, I tell patients not to get too colloquial, that you save money on toilet paper. But when it comes to your body, it's not a time to save money. A young lady that came to me for a calf implant, our operation was a couple $1,000s more expensive than the same operation in TJ in Mexico. But she decided to save the $2,000. Went down to Mexico, had the calf implants placed. The surgeon hit both neurovascular bundles. Make a long story short, she comes back as a bilateral amputee. Saved $2,000. So sadly, medical tourism is increasing exponentially. I myself have been approached by some very rich countries to do medical tourism in their countries. I go there, I look at the clinic, clinic's beautiful. That is not the issue. The issue is the backup hospital in case something goes wrong. If there's an anesthesia problem, remember, 1 in 200,000 patients are gonna suffer a catastrophic outcome from anesthesia. What backup facilities do they have once that happens? So I go, the clinic is beautiful, they set up for me, but the supporting hospitals will make your hair stand on end. That is why medical tourism, especially in the third world, buyer be aware, be very aware.
We had a lady recently who went abroad. She went for a tummy tuck, and whilst, yes, she's a lovely flat stomach, she will have a colostomy bag for the rest of her life. And these are the stories that we are hearing. We had a girl who went for breast augmentation, relatively cheap, €2,500. She went abroad, again, to one of the Middle Eastern countries. She came to ask the surgeon working with us to remove her implants. And when the implants were removed, one breast was a round shape implant, the other breast had a teardrop implant. They were two different makes, and one had a line of stitches and the other had a line of staples. This is what is happening, and people do not realize when they are going abroad what is ahead of them. Please, I implore anybody who's listening to this show, please stay in Ireland, save up the money and go and have your surgery in a reputable clinic in Ireland.
Patrick, this is an unregulated industry in Ireland, cosmetic surgery. How is that possible in 2010?
It's phenomenal, and this is very uniquely an Irish problem compared to the United Kingdom. I approached the government 2 years ago with 8 recommendations that were published all around the world, and the Minister of Health didn't even have the courtesy to answer our call for a meeting on 3 different occasions. It is just incredible. We need immediately a commission set up in terms of, you know, sort of health and safety. None of these quangos that are led by lawyers, not even by doctors. And we need, you know, regulation set up in terms of inspection of the clinics, see what facilities there, as Dr. Ray said, particularly sort of backup facilities. And you should only get a license or some sort of healthcare commission stamp, you know, if you reach certain levels of protocol. We also need a situation where I think we have to decide on which doctors are doing what and who's qualified. You know, we all know just because you're a plastic surgeon doesn't necessarily mean you're a cosmetic surgeon. The public are confused. What's the difference? Let's be honest about this. You could have the most brilliant plastic surgeon in Ireland that hasn't done 1 facelift, and you can have a general surgeon who's done 500. Who do you want to go to? You know, so, you know, it's confusing for us in the medical industry, and you can imagine what it's like for patients. But I mean, certainly the government need to get a grip with this. I think the only thing, and I may be wrong, and I don't want to be quoted wrong on this, that you need to do to set up a clinic in Ireland is to have car park facilities. I think that's the only sort of requirement. You know, of course, backup facilities are so important. We've seen a problem with a clinic in Ireland recently, and as a consequence, the clinic had to close.
Here's a little sample of what's coming up next week.
Coming up on next week's show, we meet leashman Tom, who has lost 9 stone in weight.
After losing all the weight, you're still conscious of that one thing.
but needs a chest reduction to complete his remarkable makeover. We also see Dubliner Glenn, who's going under the knife to get the nose he has wanted since childhood.
Like, everybody has little faults with themselves that they don't like talking about, and it's something that I'll be carrying around with me forever, like.
And finally, we explore how you can get your body resculpted while standing and conscious.
See you next time.
Good night, everyone.